What's going on, everybody? It's your man Big Tuck from BOREDinDE, and I got a very, very special guest. Like, me and this guy go back childhoods. I'm talking back when it was so much to do in Delaware. Your biggest problem was how I was getting to the party, which party I was hitting first, and how I was getting home. And that was it. It was so much to do. I mean, it was hip hop all over. We gonna get into that, but ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce you to my guest from Whirlwind Studios, Monty.
Hi everybody, how everybody doing? How y'all doing?
Man, how the hell you been, bruh?
Man, I've been good, man. I've been good. I can't complain, grinding, doing what I do, baby.
Yeah, man, cause I'm gonna start off like this, dog. Do you remember when we was down at the Walnut Street Y, and you was battling somebody, and I had to hold your coat, and you was dancing and battling everybody in a full circle?
Yes, I did.
Those were some good times, bro.
Those were some good times. You know what's crazy? I went into the gas station on Newcastle Avenue, and the cashier was like, "I know you." And I was like, "All right, where you know me from?" She said, "You used to dance." I said, "Oh, you really know me." I said, "'Cause that was a long, long time ago." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wow." She said, "You was on TV." She was talking about the time when me and Bush was dancing.
Oh wow, but you still keep in touch with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know I dance.
Yeah, cause we going back to days, but we're gonna start from today, then we gonna take it back. So, what you been up to, man?
Well, right now, from a music standpoint, I've been concentrating on my kids. Both of my son and my daughter, both of them rap. Y&G Breezy, and at Holly Monroe, they both rap. So I've been behind the scenes helping them do what they need to do, and whatever they ask me of.
How does that make you feel, knowing the path we took in hip hop, and then how you carried the torch long after I, stepped to the side to see your kids doing it?
It makes me feel real good, and it makes me feel like all the sacrifice was for a reason, like, because what we learned, I've been instilling it in them. So like they're really ahead of the game. My son told me that one time. He said I was in Philly at the studio. He said, "Oh, he was in there telling me all this stuff." He said I kept nodding my head like, "You right, right." He said, "But I already knew it all because you had told me." So that's the part of it that I appreciate, and so they don't have to start, and because this game is rough. It's a rough game.
It certainly is, because when we were doing it, it was about fun. We were just having fun. I mean,
right.
If a record came out of it, it came out of it, but we were just doing it for fun. And when I try to tell people, I'm like, "Yo, we used to actually do shows and tours and stuff like that."
Yeah.
They like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we didn't have Instagram and them like that. We had them big VHS cameras and wasn't nobody trying to carry them like that."
I know, right? Man, I was telling them about that. I was like, I remember, I'm going to take you back. Remember Browns, the battle?
Browns Boys Club.
Browns Boys Club, the battle. Look, I was like, I was like, the Philly scene, how it was mixed. A lot of people don't know how mixed the Philly and Delaware scene was. It was mixed, and we was right there in the middle of it. When they was just getting started, we was too.
Delaware got a lot of firsts as far as hip hop. A lot of firsts.
Yes,
a lot of people don't know that. See, like, I always, when I run into a young cat that think, we putting Delaware on the map, I'm like, "Nah, Delaware been on the map, dog."
Yeah.
I said, it kind of subsided, maybe in the mid-90s and stuff, but
right.
I said in the late 70s, all through the 80s, Delaware was hip-hop. You couldn't get nowhere out with straight-up hip-hop. And like everybody had their different parts of town,
right,
doing what they do. It was a beautiful set. What was you about to say?
I was about to say, what years are you talking, and what happened at the battle, nigga? Like, yo, ain't give me no peeps. How do you know what happened at the battle?
Oh, he want to know what happened at the battle.
Oh, well, the battle was
and
epic.
at Browns. I ain't forget about that shit.
So which battle? Because it was a DJ battle, then it was the dance battle. The dance battle was just, I would go and I would just dance, and people would get in, whoever was the hottest. It was more like a crowd reaction kind of thing, back in them days. But then we had a set battle at Brown's Boys Club. The set battle at Brown's Boys Club was between DJ Rush and Cut Wiz. and Doc, and that was Doc that was Doc D. Doc D from South Bridge. He had him. They had that song. I'm with it. Yeah,
and it's like that battle got cut short because they started acting up.
Exactly.
And they acted up on my set. Cause like Wiz went first and then I went, but right as soon as I was about to get into my set, you know, scuffle broke out. There was scuffles back then because people went home to their families. They didn't go to the casket.
Definitely.
So it was a scuffle and it, it broke up. And
but
then,
you know what? I learned that Den and them they used to do that. So they would get everybody in the party. Then they would pay a couple of young boys to go ahead. You know, look, we got Big Daddy Kane coming. Then they'd be like, look, at 11:30.
turn it out.
Turn it up. He ain't coming out.
Right.
So I was like, that's probably what happened. But yeah, but Rush was.
And then we took it to Price's Park, and that's where I took it down, hands down.
Listen.
Like if you talk to anybody that's
behind your back,
I would say they had to probably be, I would say 42 and older. I know that's ancient with these young cats, but 42 and older that lived in Delaware at that time, oh, they'll tell you.
Oh, definitely. Because Price's Park, the parties there was classic.
Block parties. And like I said, all you had to worry about was possible scuffle. Wasn't nobody out here shooting, stabbing, and nothing.
It wasn't none of that.
Your worst, actually, not the scuffle. You had to worry about getting jumped.
Yeah, 30 of them.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And you better be quick, because they only going to chase you for a couple blocks.
Right.
Then you good.
We had some of them. But yeah, man, listen, we had, the thing I don't think, I don't even know how I can explain how great he is as a DJ. He says he don't do it. I don't know. I think he could get back. I used to sit down in his basement and watch him practice. He was so intense. He loved it that much, and he loved this craft so much. And I would just sit there and watch him. He don't even know that was like fueling me. I'm his young boy. So he looking at me like, man. I'm like, man, listen, I'm watching everything you do. You don't even know everything he did. Like everything, his whole path that he took, like I followed in it. Without even following, well, I followed it. There ain't no way to say I didn't. I followed in it.
Right.
He was DJing, I DJ'd and got into that. I don't really do it for like the same way he do it, but it turned me into a producer. So that's how I got into the jazz records and started sampling and started making music. You know, everything, even being in the studio. Classic that y'all, like, I mean, classic. Because we went from all eras. Like, from a studio standpoint, went from all eras. From reels, them big reels that you got to refrigerate.
To ADATs.
To ADATs.
Why'd you have to refrigerate?
Because you don't want the wax to melt. It was tape, you know what I mean? So you had to put them in a certain degree. You didn't want them to be, because if it got too hot, they stick together.
Right.
And you figure this was the time where it was strip of tape, but it had 8 individual tracks on it.
And you know what's crazy? Yeah. Now that you were saying, when he asked, I was getting ready to say, remember, because the brown stuff would rub off the tape.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they have no idea what I'm talking about. The brown stuff, the magnetic strip that was on top of the tape would rub off. So you had to keep it at a certain temperature. But we seen every phase of it from that to when they was using the ADATs all the way up to actual just digital. And you helped me with the transformation.
Yeah.
You helped me with the transformation.
We built this first computer.
My first computer.
Back when they actually had computer trade shows, we used to go to the trade shows to get stuff.
Right.
And then they had like little little mom and pop stores in the strip mall. You could buy a hard drive or some PCI cards or something like that. Yeah.
I was like, Rush, I need you, baby. I need you to build me. I need you to help me build this thing. I got you. Come with me.
Back with sound cards and MIDI and SMPTE and all that stuff.
I had the ADATs. I think I had ADATs, Cubase, and I had brought me and I was trying. I had actually synced them up together. Cubase and the ADATs would sync up together.
We had like 96.
No,
dog. We early. We
well, look, we jumping back and forth through time. Okay. Like when we did when
the battle was about 85.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go back to 85 because this guy we did so much. But
hold on, this ain't about me. It's about you. I just was dropping some sprinkles in there and stuff because I want to talk about what you up to, Whirlwind. And
okay.
Then your what was it? GH2.
GH2. Go hard, go harder. So yeah, well, you know what? Basically, you know, from a music standpoint, I'm really, you know, me and my daughter and my son, and even right now we incorporated, you know, I'm looking to collab all three of them because it's my daughter, my son, and then my daughter's little brother.
Oh, okay.
So all of them, you know, you know, so we all I'm trying to be like, okay, look, we need to make some moves. You know, all of y'all get together because, you know, my daughter's the oldest, then it's my son, then it's her little brother. So, you know, let's try to make this thing a generational thing and pull it together. They're supposed to be working on a song now. That's great. My daughter actually is working on her EP.
Okay.
And her EP is to be dropping in May. And my son is working on his album. So I was just speaking with him, and he was like, he's going to drop his in May too.
Are you doing any producing on the album, or are you more of an executive producer?
You know what? I'm more of a consultant than producing. I really well, me and my daughter have a different relationship when it comes to music. Like me and her, we'll sit in the studio and we'll go over stuff and, you know, vibe out and stuff like that because from our relationship when she first started rapping, because she first started rapping in high school.
Right.
And she came out and she had a single out then, and it did kind of well. We did a little local tour with that, and it was called Holly. It was actually named after her. It was self-titled. But me and her have a connection. My son Breezy, he moved to Jersey. So he's in the Palmyra area. So he has that area up there is all YNG. Okay. Where he's at is YNG. You go in that area and you ask who's YNG, they automatically know. He has a crew, even in Philly. So he has that area. But he used to come down. So when he was 15, 14, he would be in the studio. And I'd be like, listen, I'm not staying in here no more. This is how you do this. So I showed him how to engineer. So he's been putting out mixtapes since he was like 15, and so he's self-contained. He's more like me. Like I'm gonna do it. So I didn't already set him up with an LLC for what is it, YNG. I set that up. He got his, you know, getting his label together and all that. So I'm just you know, in the back.
So you put him on the right path.
Oh, totally. Definitely. Yeah, so, you know, that's what, so it's like, he's more of like, he's like me more. She's the artist side of me. He's hot too, but like business-wise, he got that on, like, that's his thing.
And it's crazy because these cats, like, I hope they know that a lot of stuff we gained was firsthand or from damn books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we didn't have Google or nothing like that. We had to ask questions like, Monty was famous for asking questions while we on tour. Like, if he wanted to know something, he gonna ask you the question. As soon as we get off stage, how you do this? How you do that?
And you know,
why'd you use this versus this?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? To this day, I'm still like that. I was having that conversation about everything that we done was self-taught. Like I didn't go to school to engineer. I just was watching. And I'm like, okay, I got an ear. I'm watching. I'm asking you questions. You like, look, here go this. You throwing me sound kits. I remember the sound kits. I still got the producer sound kits. You know, I was using them kicks and snares. You know, so you throwing me things, and I'm watching and learning how to do it. You know, and even to the photography side. Like I went and picked up my Canon. You doing your photography? I got my camera. You know, I'm gonna try this out. I remember I would ask you, like, yo, what's the aperture? What's this? You know, I'm figuring it all out. So, yeah, man, that's the beauty of hip hop. And the beauty of hip hop is how it built being a part of it, of the culture from the beginning, and like seeing it grow from something that we was just doing as kids, and it turned into this $1 trillion business that control the world. Everything is marketed by hip hop. Everything, like hip hop controls a lot.
You're right, because if you really want to check out how influential hip hop is, check out a country music radio station. All their videos is hip hop videos. country music videos right now is 90 hip hop videos with the low camera angles, the fancy cars, the girls dancing.
And if you listen to the music, the way that they do it, their cadence,
their cadence,
they bouncing on it like they really rapping on them bars. Got like I'm like, yo.
Wow, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
I believe it though because I was like, yo, man, it's so influential, and just to imagine like when I was in high school and when me and Tuck met, we met at a house party. I don't know if he remembers, but we met at a house party.
Eden Park?
No. In your neighborhood in Oakmont. And I was dancing, so I love dancing, but I didn't like traditional like hip hop songs.
Was you a head spinner? Was you pop locking? What kind of?
I was like a pop locker, crazy leg type dancer. You feel me? But like, so Public Enemy dropped, and I went over to him. Was like, yo, we in the party. They trying to party. I'm like, yo, play the Public Enemy joint. And he looking at me like, all right, I got you. I walk away. Then I came back like 10 minutes later. Yo, you gonna play the Public Enemy joint? And I annoyed him. And he never played it. But then from there, that's when we connected because I kept asking him about the Public Enemy song. And I was like, wow.
Because I found out you was Ben's cousin.
Right, exactly.
And Ben was my push guy. Like, he was like, oh, you need to do this because my first party was because of him down by Eden Park.
Wow.
You know how I used to live on Terminal Avenue? That neighborhood right there.
Right.
My first house party was down there, and Ben was like, I'm going to get you this gig and only pay $75.
Right.
And that was back when you had to load up the van and had to pick the crates of records and stuff. But
we had the minivan. We had the famous minivan.
Yeah.
We would be packed in this minivan. It'd be about 10 of us in a minivan with crates, 1200s. Speakers, I don't even think y'all understand. Like we got it easy now. We got a controller and a hard drive.
Yeah.
He had his whole crate set up. Okay, these is all in order. This is my set. Boom, 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 boom. Put that crate over there. Put this crate right here. He got to have them right there. Like DJing was an art and organizing. Just the mental capacity to even do it and know where to drop when they drop in the needle right where it belongs at. I used to watch all of that. I love hip hop. I love hip hop.
Did you said you ain't like to dance to just regular hip hop songs. What was your thing?
So you like one of my favorite songs, and still is my favorite song, is like I'm Still Number One. Like I could go off to Still Number One back in my day, but if you listen to I'm Still Number One, you're gonna believe that wasn't a dance track of our day. Like a dance track of our day is Kid and Play.
Right.
You feel me? I'm listening to I'm Still Number One. Bam, boom, boom, boom. Like I'm like, so I would go off, but I was different, and we made a lot of moves in hip hop, and just how we just. I don't even think like even from the standpoint of before what's the name came out. What is that, Project X? Because you figure we was doing things before that.
Yeah.
Who was Project X?
That was probably one of the biggest records to come out of Delaware. It was a group of artists and everything, but the thing about it is that
it was a compilation.
Our circle was in there, but it wasn't our circle directly. Like Fred G and his brother, they pretty much came from the same background what Monty's talking about. Like all these cats will be at my spot while I'm DJing. You would think there's a party going on. We Friday night, we supposed to be in the streets. I'm there practicing routines and stuff like that.
And Bernard.
Yeah.
And Bernard and what's the name? They was from OU Gardens and Jefferson Farms. They was more in my...
But one of them a lawyer now, right? Because we got Joey, Bernard.
Bernard is... He's a lawyer, but he was the judge over top of family court.
Oh, wow.
He moved off. He just ran for the what is that? The DA?
District Attorney?
Yeah. He just ran for that. That's what I said. I said, look at you. And then when I see him, I be like, I start talking about it, he be like, I was like, yeah,
Yeah, we was there.
Yeah, Dope Rhyme. Remember? I remember that. Like, yeah, you done went from Dope Rhyme to doing your thing, but that's the thing. Like hip hop sparked a lot.
Beautiful about Delaware hip hop.
Yeah, you know about they don't. I don't think half of
Going
us
to
think.
Jack's on 4th Street.
Yeah, that was
Sitting in there, you know, getting their new records every Tuesday and Friday. Going there. Those are good old days. Well, yo, again, back to you. Cause we could talk like this on
but this
right here is
though.
probably gonna be my hardest edit to go through.
But you saying that, but this is me. That's what I'm saying. You saying this is what made me who I am. All our experiences, like it ain't too many people that experience the music with me at that level where I was growing. After that, like our level when we was together, I was in the learning phases. After I kind of branched off from you, became a teacher. So it's like different. So when we talking, it's like, no, this is a guy that I learned with or was teaching me. Y'all looking at me like, well, I come to you, but I'm like, well, I went to him. You know what I'm saying? So when we talking about that is me.
It was many nights where we sat on damn Napster downloading applications because we couldn't afford Cubase and Cakewalk and all that stuff
not at all.
back in the day. It was like $600-700 then.
99.
We talking like 90.
Hey, on the same day, it be like
not
Like 91, 92.
That was 92.
Like put like this, the internet wasn't nowhere like it is now. It was more like you had to really know what you was doing to get on the internet.
And
we had phone modems. We downloading 600 and 700, meg program files with 9600K baud downloads, which is real slow.
Yeah, when you leave and come back, and then leave and come back, and then be like, we just gonna check it tomorrow, kind of down. Like it was, yeah, man.
When you had to record it overnight.
Yeah.
Download it overnight. Just let that thing download.
Just let it go.
While you was at school.
Yeah.
That's
Man. Look, we had our own style. We had our own style. Like, we dressed how we dressed. Like, even to get to that. Because, I'm going to bring it up because I never said it. And it's the first time I'm going to say it. That I invented the Gumby haircut.
Yeah.
That is all me. And I can back it up and I can tell you how it happened.
Well, share that. Share that.
Well, share that. So, we had a connection with EST and his dancers. So we did a show, and he used to come down, and across the street was his cousin. On top of how we was connected from that side, so we did a show, and I had the haircut at the time. So I had the haircut, and then turned around. They did the He actually took my haircut. And he did the Powerhouse or whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
And then after he did it and he got in the video, it caught on and it went on from there. So that was like the lineage of it from me to him, and then everybody else jumped on it after they seen him on it, because he didn't.
Because they was hot when they dropped.
Right.
They was hot. 3 times dope.
The greatest man alive. Right. But I had that haircut first. I had it, and it was my signature at that time.
Yeah, cause we definitely talking. He picked up the hairdo, I would say about 87. Then they dropped their album like 88.
Right.
And then it just took off from there, cause he did the Greatest Man Alive video was in black and white, and that's when you really see the cut. And like even for him to swipe that haircut, it makes me think like how detailed we were in the 80s and 90s, because there was no picture. The only instant pictures we had was Photomart, Instamat, or something like that.
Right.
Where you shake it like a Polaroid and stuff like that. That was it. So we doing shows. He had to look at this on memory.
Like, yo, that was
like,
dope.
What is that? And I think you coined it, the Gumby.
Yeah.
Well, it is easy to identify.
Right.
Because it's the slant. Second he seen that hard slant, he probably was like, yo, I'm one of those.
Because at the time, I remember how I even got it. Because at the time, everybody was getting boxes. And I was like, man, I don't want a box. And I went to my boy. I was like, yo, man, why don't you just, can you round this like that? And I'm going to make it waves. And I was just trying, because at that time, the whole hip-hop, everything in hip-hop was being original.
Right.
It was all about being original and standing out and being an individual. Which is, that's not.
It's more corporate now. Because I honestly still believe there's cats out there that's trying to be original, doing their own flavor, but hip hop is more corporate, so corporate's looking for that money churn. Like, I need that money.
Yeah.
So if this worked for this artist, we're gonna put out 6 more artists doing the same thing, and if at least 3 of them hit, we getting all our money back because they can make your number 1 hip hop record was probably made for less than $1,000.
Easy.
Probably.
Yes. I agree.
Like take that hit that Cardi B had. Even when you include people writing it, engineering stuff like that, it probably costs more for the writer. Probably charged them a grip for that song, but as far as the mechanics of recording it and putting it together, probably less than $1,000.
Yeah, that song probably costs about $350 if you're not including royalties.
$350.
Just because of what it costs to record a record now, digitally.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that song is mixed down crisp.
Yeah.
But digitally, man, listen, if you don't include royalties, because it don't take
Right, it don't take a lot. And,
Like-
you know, it don't. And with technology now, you know, technology now, you don't even need the high-end equipment like you used to have. Like that high-end, like I remember when I bought my first mic, I went to the store, I think it was up in, I forget the name of the store, but I don't know if it was Sam Ash or something, but you up there by Notre Dame, you know what I'm talking about, the Blue Route.
Yeah.
Whatever that store is, because we ain't have many.
It wasn't
music
Sam
stores.
Ash. It was it Medley Music?
Medley. Exactly.
Yeah.
I went to Medley Music. I'm in there. I'm talking to the guy like, look, got a little bit of money. I need you to tell me what to get. Everything he told me what I got is like nobody probably even know anything about it. Like I got the Mo2. At the time, this was dope. This is like the new wave. I got the Mo2 sound card. Had the ADAT light pipes. ADAT light pipes just came out. So he's like, look, you got the ADAT light pipes. You got 8 of them. You got 8 of these. I'm like, okay. I was like, I need a mic. He sold me a $1,500 mic. And it was too good. Like it was too
And it's funny
good.
to say it was too good.
It was too good. Like it wasn't right. It wasn't from the application that like this. No, I got a home studio. You sold me a mic that I can't even isolate the way it needs to be isolated. I remember I was down when I had the studio down in Old Newcastle, 7 Book Circle. I had built me a booth, and I could, if I left the door open to the booth, I could hear my girl pulling up.
Mike was that good.
It was that good. It was, but it was like
You can catch all the plosives and the person breathing and everything.
right, and you know, and I'm like, I'm brand new. You got me doing all this.
He'd be like, do I hear that nigga heartbeat?
Yo, the mic was like this big, man. And my boy knocked it over and broke it. But anyway. But yeah, but now you can get yourself, what, a $350 mic? You get you spend around $300, you can get yourself a decent mic.
Yeah.
And you get the plugins to go with it. Look, man, we're going to put the plugins on
Plugins
it.
or something else. Remember, we used to go crazy for them plugins. We used to use so many plugins we had plugins that was redundant because it was a plugin that we were already doing what the plugin we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So we had all these digital plugins. Like I said, we're going back to, we're probably slightly in the mid 90s now, like 94,
Right.
95 now. And like, put it like this, back then, your fastest computer was like a Pentium. And if you had put the Pentium doubler on it, it speeds it up twice as much, and we was using that, and like overclocking was just starting to become a thing. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember you overclocked
Yeah.
mine.
What's overclocking?
You make the processor work a little bit harder than it's supposed to. Like it's regulated for this, but I want it to work up here, and then
Like
with
putting
that,
turbo on the engine. Like this engine, you know, this engine ain't really made for 500 horsepower, but we're gonna put this on it and we're gonna make it boost up. Yeah, man. Just think, even though like even at that time, you figure when I started with the rap group, so I started when I started rapping, and I had the group Whirlwind. So that's even how the name that my studio even come from is from the rap group. When the rap group fell apart, I was so connected to it. It's like, I'm not letting it die.
Right.
And I'm just going to say, okay, now it's Whirlwind Studio. So I just kept it with me.
Why Whirlwind?
Whirlwind. I just came up with the name. I don't even know how I came up with it. I just was like, I was brainstorming. Whirlwind. They're like, what's that? I said,
when you think about it, a whole bunch of our names was like just storming like that. Cause I remember the staff organization.
That word. That's what
we used to call.
We was called the staff.
And people were like, what it mean? Be like, oh man, it's just a staff organization.
All of us, we put in work, right? had the staff. Look, man.
Our security was 3,000 LB, because when everybody was together, we was over 3,000 pounds.
Yeah. And shoot, we was deep, man. We was deep.
How'd you get rushed?
I think a girl gave that to me. And that was at that first house party. That first house party, because she asked me what my name was, and I'm like, I was actually going by my government. I was going by, So she was like, I'm not calling you that. You just rushed to get down here? DJ Rush? I'm like, oh, damn. And it stuck. But, I can't remember. The girl's name was D. She was from that area, but we lost her a couple years back. Remember Big D? She worked at McDonald's. D was the one that gave me Rush.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Remember, she worked at McDonald's when we was coming up, and she passed away probably about 6-7 years, maybe even 10 years ago.
Wow.
She passed away. She was the one that gave me that name, and we were friends ever since and stuff. So, rest easy, that baby girl.
Rest easy. Yeah, man. Like even like some of the stories we had, like we hooked up with them, like even from a hip hop standpoint, from Delaware hip hop. When you talk about Big Ben, like when Ben hooked up with the group out of New York, the one who the DJ that was with Cool G Rap, and they started a new group, and they came down, right? So they came down, and he hooked up, and he became their beatbox, and they was in the New York versus Philly. They was in the New York versus Philly concert they had at the Spectrum. And all the beatboxers was in the bathroom. You had the one from Slim. What was it? It was
the Skinny Boys.
Skinny Boys. You had Skinny Boys. You had the guy from the Fat Boys.
Skinny Boys, I think he was Jackbox or something like that.
And then you had Will Smith and them DJ Jazzy
Jeff.
Nah, they had
his beatbox.
His beatbox. Ready Roxy, right?
Yeah.
So you had Ready Roxy, and Ben battled them all in the bathroom during the concert. And then that's when Ben did the Underwater Fred Sanford joint. And then, on their next album, he bit it and put it on the album.
Yeah.
Underwater Fred Sanford beatbox?
Yeah.
Ben killed it. Yeah. It's like, do it underwater. And Ben killed it. Ben sound like an 808. For real. Ben was, But I'm just saying, even from that culture, like that's what happened, and and people be like, oh nah, like we had some real talent here. It was some real artists that was like made a lot of noise. We just never, I don't know, we never got the recognition of like the notoriety or the paper for it, but we never went to that next level.
We didn't get paper for it or recognition because we were doing it out of fun, and nobody at that time thought I should document this.
You right.
Nobody at that time thought. I mean, because we had, we didn't have digital. Everything was film. So that the video camera I was joking about in the beginning, the big VCR camera,
right? That
was easy, $1,500.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna spend $1,500 on that when I can give me some, some DJing equipment and stuff like that for half that. So it was nobody there to document.
Shoot, I ain't even had that kind of money at that time. You figure I'm a baby. I ain't had that kind of money.
Yeah, nobody documented it. It was just all word of mouth. Now, what happened, because I know when the young guys here, they'd be like, well, what happened? Why y'all fall off? You have to understand that when we was doing this, everybody was kids, everybody was young, and there wasn't a lifestyle outside of hip hop till, and I hate to blame New York, but when the New York boys realized Delaware was a nice place to rest, when you coming up from Miami with some dope, you can come here and rest, because Delaware, even though we was into it, Delaware was still considered kind of slow. We weren't Philly, but a New York boy can come. Put like this: a bum ass nigga from New York can come down, and he the G here. Back in the 80s.
Yeah, I hate that.
He could have got ran out of New York by the real niggas,
and they
came down here and he set up shop, and just because his slang a little different, his swagger a little different, people gravitated towards that. Because all jokes aside, it's a lot of cats right now that's about 30, 35, don't know what their dad real name is. They just know your mom got knocked up by Mook Mook. Mook Mook from Harlem.
Yeah, for real.
And then he out. You know what?
Out.
Wasn't no pictures, wasn't no Instagram, nothing.
And you know what? That was the game. You come down, going to the projects or wherever it's hot at. You find yourself a girl. You get it. You move in with her. Set up shop. And that's how you infiltrate. That's how they did it.
Especially she had brothers or family, somebody that they can put such and such on and be like, this what y'all call weed? This what y'all call crack?
Yeah.
Nah.
We going up here.
He go up top, get some shit, come back down. It's like, well, damn, his dimes, his 20s down here. He bucking up.
Yeah, they was killing
and
him.
And it was like a lot of low level dudes down here. We ain't really had no kingpins till late in the 90s when they started coming down. But from like when crack got introduced to Delaware, it was about 86. It got worse in 90. It got
Way
worse.
Yeah, 90. Yeah.
Cause we lost a lot of talented people behind drugs.
Yes, we did.
Both getting locked up and both getting hooked on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We did. Man, that did change the game. It even changed even the way that the music was. Because it started out as fun. You know, I remember we was having fun, and then when the drug game or the crack hit, it turned everybody. It turned the whole music around. Because, like me personally, I think that hip hop in its infant stages, in the early stages, I always looked at hip hop as the reporters of our hood. So like I can listen to Eazy-E, and if he got co-signed and they said he's thorough, I knew what he was saying that was going on in Compton. That's really what's going on in Compton.
right.
If I'm listening to Coogee rap and he talking about this is going on, I know that this is what's going on there. So like it was a way to actually know all these other places around the country and what they're going through. Even when you go down to, Scarface and the Ghetto Boys down in Texas, it's like, okay, to me as a kid, it was like I got to experience all of these people and their culture.
They brought us to their hood through their voice
You know
and
what
their
I'm saying?
rhymes.
Exactly. But that switched. That switched in the music. It switched in the music, like you said, when the machine took over, and it's like you don't have to be authentic. It ain't about you talking about, letting the world know, especially when the internet hit, because the internet hit, everybody knows everything.
Right.
You can't even say anybody's slow nowadays.
Right.
How you slow? How you slow? It's Google. How you slow? You could see the video when everybody else drop it.
Right. Because the thing about it is that when the internet dropped, it enabled people that wouldn't have sought out their voice to have one.
Yeah.
So people that might have been quiet the whole time, once the internet came out, because it was still, you're still behind a keyboard and behind a computer, so they can't touch you, but they can hear you. And then if they can hear you, they can feel you. So I always find it humorous when young guys, get on us when we talk about their skinny jeans, this, and that. And I try to tell them, we had skinny jeans and everything too. It seemed like y'all take things to the extreme.
Right, because Lee jeans wasn't all that loose.
Yeah.
They wasn't all that loose. And I was a big guy and I hated them. So I was like, them jeans was tight. Them jeans was tight.
And even now with like people rocking Champion, I'm like, yo, you got clowns. You wore Champion back in our day.
You know what's crazy? I didn't know until I was like, oh, so you can wear Champion now.
Right.
Like, that was like the Foreman Mills version.
Yeah.
Like, you wearing Champions? Like, oh, no, you don't do that.
So when the young guys be like, yo, you always talking about our style. We had MCs and DJs that had eccentric styles because Grandmaster and Furious 5, I would never dress like them back in the day. Yeah. But I damn sure didn't think they was soft by the way they was dressing because they took me to the streets that I ain't never been.
Yeah. That's white.
And even today, with Melly Mel probably pushing 70, I still wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
But I
wouldn't dare address him.
That's that early 70s. They came out of that 70s
that
era.
Disco era.
Yeah, so they came out of how the Commodores and all those dressing when they had the
mesh shirts
on.
and the spikes and stuff on their arms.
They bust your ass in some bell bottoms.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They bust your ass in some bell bottoms.
No, that was serious, man.
That was
but even from hip hop, when everybody was wearing suits. they used to wear tuxes and everything. You know, Sugar Hill Gang, when they performed, they had a suit on.
And you remember Kwame took it further with the polka dot suits.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Everything.
So it's
and,
like...
and the bright colors and stuff. And
you know,
the jacket had to have wide shoulders and narrow in. And
yeah, you know, so it's always...
It's definitely a circle, but they don't like to admit it. This new generation like to think everything came from them, but it's all a circle.
Yeah, it is a circle.
We picked up on stuff. They're picking up on stuff now. The ones that I say that aren't really in it, they in it for the money, which everybody is at some point is in it for the money. But you can tell certain artists would be like, yo, he couldn't do nothing else but sell us this bullshit.
Right.
They the ones that don't want to admit that circle.
Right, right, and you know, and then you have the ones that really do their research, and you can hear it. You can hear how they take it to the next level. Like they listen, they know, like the connection with the music. It's like,
well, real quick, it just made me think about that, the circle, right?
Right.
Because Dapper Dan at the time was making clothing for, right? But you know what I'm saying? Now Dapper Dan got a job at Gucci, or is making the clothes for hip hop that's still, you know what I'm saying? It's
stuff he was doing,
but just they don't see him. They don't see him in front. He's still same culture. Like, what you gonna do?
Listen,
Like,
I remember we went up there. We went up to Harlem, right across from the Apollo, and he made the bubble goose joint, and he put the name in the back with the bubble letters, all that. I remember all that, man. Like that's the other thing is that we're not as slow as they say we are. Sorry about that. You know, we're not as slow as they say we are. Like we going to New York. We've been traveling.
Back when we had to use a Rand McNally map to figure out how to get there. It could never fold it back up, just throw it in the glove box.
You know, like we've been traveling. We was in Jersey. Like we was going to Jersey. We was in Philly. Philly was like that was like going like around the corner. We stayed in Philly. You know what I'm saying?
So when y'all toured, where was y'all touring?
Delaware, Philly, Jersey, and we did a couple shows in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, like even when the groups came here, like as a dancer, I did a lot of concerts dancing. Like when the Public Enemy came, I was I forget who I was dancing for at that time, but I did a set when the Public Enemy and Busy B came.
Remember they had me DJ for Busy B because his DJ didn't show up.
Right, so I danced at that concert. I did a set there. Then when they had, was it Big Daddy Kane? Nah, was it Big Daddy Kane and Rakim when they came to the Armory?
Yeah, it was Eric B and Rakim because that was the first time they performed I Know You Got Soul live. Like the record was hot, but when they first performed it live on stage, it was at National Guard Army right here in Delaware.
Yeah, people don't there. I remember that. And then I said the Public Enemy show. We did the Public Enemy.
And Big Daddy Kane came down separate because he came down with oh man, not MC Light.
It's Shorty T or something Sweet T. Yeah. At the Ellesmere skating rink. Yeah, because I danced there. So it's like, you know, I was like, they be like, nah, I was like, I used to love to perform. Like I got it, like, you know, from the dance, and that's what made me like perform. So when I started rapping, they be like getting in front of people. Look, I've been like in that kind of
in the mix
feeling where like, okay, everybody looking like I don't have a problem with it.
Cause we come from an era where all you had to do was just be a cool dude or know whoever runs shit in that neighborhood. Everybody left you alone. Cause it was many times me and you stood in like the belly of the beast, just me and you.
I know, right?
And ain't nobody say no.
True. I was ready to say, I remember when Javon first came down here. When Javon first came down here and we was at Henrietta's and I was dancing and he was dancing too. And me and him linked up. And like we only linked up on the dancing side. And me and him became real cool and all this. And I was like, wow, like the relationship I built, I was like, wow, like it was so many people. Like at that time, like, you know, we was basically from the suburbs. I don't really like to call it that, but it is. But you know, we was from the suburbs, but we never was confined to that. Like we never was confined. Like we never was confined. We was always in the city. We was always at TPs and everything like
Dino's,
that.
the alleys,
yeah,
Odd Fellas, stuff like that. And I can honestly say it wasn't me, but it was somebody in our circle that coined suburban hood. Yeah, because they be like, oh, that's some suburban hood boys there.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what we was, man. Shoot, man. Like the music really changed. The music is like, it's still a part of my life. I love music. Like, I love music.
What was your favorite era?
I don't even know if I could say if I have like a favorite era. Like, for me, when I was fully engulfed in it, I was engulfed in it, and when I had got my rep for music was in like 2000. Like 2000, when Rockefeller hit, that's where I got my rep, because I was the guy behind the scenes. I was the guy behind the scenes when Blue Chip and me and the guy, my boy from San Francisco did the deal, and we paid what is his name? What's the guy from Cash Money? Back Juvenile. That thing up. We paid Juvenile to get on the track with Chip. A lot of people don't know, like, we put the money up for that. I hooked that up. Like, even with the other thing when
that was on like a Lazy K mixtape. I remember it. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So then also when we had when we was doing the live from Philly mixtapes, and then that's when all State Property used to come to my studio all the time. So we had Oskino come down and all that kind of stuff, and that's my boy. Shout out to my boy Y Shamik all his mixtapes. I was the guy in the back. I recorded those mixtapes, a lot of them. A lot of them I recorded, before Petey Crack got on. See, that's the stuff, like, before Petey Crack got on, and when he was at Indy 5, it was Indy and Petey Crack, and they had the DJ out of, they was signed under the DJ out of Chester.
Oh, wow, you definitely took it there.
They were signed under the DJ out of Chester, and my boy bought them, and I did his mixtape. He was with the Big Dogs, something dogs, DJ crew, something. And I did his mixtape, and that's how I heard of him. Before all that, so it's like, in that era.
One for PD Crack was on that mix. That one for PD Crack and two. That was back when he was with Indy. That was still that time frame around that.
But I'm talking about even before then. I'm talking about when he was with the guy out of when he was with the guy in Chester. They wasn't like, that's the time when the Rock wasn't even around, when Rockefeller wasn't even thought of, when he was with the guy out of. It's a shame I don't even know the guy's name. My memory is a long time ago, but I remember what happened.
My brain cells too.
Yeah, man. Like, the 2000 era. That's beautiful. I remember Oskino came because him and Y Shamik was real cool. So he brought Oskino to my house, to the studio, and my daughter loved Oskino. And I told him how much my daughter loved him and everything, and she came outside. Like, he a thorough dude. He came outside with a T-shirt, and he signed her T-shirt. She still got that T-shirt. Oh, I was like, I want to tell him when I get a chance, like, yo, you really inspired my daughter. Like, you don't know what you did, but look, that's what she do. She started being a rapper after that. I didn't even know she rapped. My nephew told me she rapped. He's like, look, my nephew was like, look, I don't know. Like, yeah, shout out to my nephew Trail too, because I left him out. My nephew raps too. He got an album coming out. So my nephew was like, look, she don't know how to bring it to you because she don't want you, she don't know how you gonna feel about the stuff she's saying. I'm like, well, let me hear it. And when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, it's a go. Now I just gotta, bring it on in and teach, do a few things, like, teach her certain things that, about MCing.
But just to see her, like, I remember when she was just a little baby, and just seeing her, doing what she do now, it's like, wow. And then it even warms my heart a little bit more, 'cause I'm like, even though not directly, but indirectly, I'm kind of responsible for some of that.
Definitely. Definitely.
I mean, she didn't come to Uncle Tuck for nothing, but a lot of stuff that she does and that she learned, how she got that was basically from her father, who got it from me. Who,
Right. So it's the lineage. You gotta always pay homage, and that's what I'm saying. Like it wouldn't even be. She wouldn't even have the knowledge that she had if I didn't have the knowledge that I have. To start it off. I mean, now she's she's a grown woman, but at the time of like even this grooming them, because you figure this is like this my studio at my home. It was a breeding ground. Like I was saying, so you figure my son, like I was saying, my son would come down and he would come like spend the weekends with me. He would knock a whole mixtape out on the weekends. So it would be my son, it would be my son, YG Breezy, my nephew, Trail, my daughter, and Cole, all in the studio. And they be like, oh, after I do my sessions and I make my money, they be like, record me. I was like, no, I'm tired. I'm gonna tell y'all what to do. Look, this is how to control C, hit the space bar, hit this and R, run in there. Look, this is what you do on the track. I'm gonna teach y'all how to do it. I'll mix it later. Y'all recorded yourself. I already got the level set. You ain't even gotta touch nothing. And they just went in there and they would stand there. They have so much material. They would just record and just be like, how this working. Then I would listen to stuff, and then I would sit down and be like, okay, let's do this over. I'm gonna show. Let's do it this way or that way. So like my electric bill was high. You hear me? Like my electric bill was high.
Cause I remember I met Cole through you. Cause Cole had only knew about me as a photographer, but then the last time I saw him, it was at a pool party.
Right.
And I was taking pictures of the pool party. He walked up to me. He was like, yo, big man, how come you ain't never told me you got down? I'm like, got down with what? He was like, yeah, man. Monty told me you was the man on the wheels, this, and this. Yeah. He said, I thought you was the picture dude. I'm like, nah, that was an old time ago. He's like, I'm going to get you on the wheels. wheels. And then, unfortunately, about a year or so after that, somebody, some fucking coward took his life and shit at a place that no violence should have never got through them walls.
This is my first time even talking about it, and I'm glad we kind of brought it up, because that was like, actually, that was the reason why I stopped. My initial reason for stopping, like they took a part of me when they killed my man. Like he was.
Cole was a cool motherfucker. I don't care.
But
Cole meet you once and he would treat you like he known you all your life.
Yeah, but he was like a little brother to me. Like I loved him, and like they would stay at my house. You feel what I'm saying? Like me and him, we had a bond. Like when I had the studio, I had about 5 engineers that was working there. The only people that had keys was me and him. That's the relationship. Everybody else, they gotta call and be like, can you let me in at this time? I got a session. Him, he could go when he want, leave when he want, and when they did that, it was like, even the backlash that I got a lot of backlash from that, because since I'm from Newcastle, it's assumed that I know what happened, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, this is my man. Like, why would anyone even think? But at the time, I already know how emotions run, and when the mind is racing and you're trying to figure something out, all possibilities seem possible.
Right.
So I never took it too personal, because I know, because it ain't been solved, so everybody's going to feel some kind of way. And I was willing to be the scapegoat a little bit. Just a little bit, because I know emotionally I can handle it. But that tore me apart. Like, I was like, I could never do that again. I don't even want to do music. Like, the music that I got that he did and everything is like
it's on lock.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. That shit was heartbreaking.
Happening?
I had a studio that was inside of Rose Hill Community Center, and the actual studio I started doing. I started teaching. So I had a photography class. Thanks to Tuck. I had a DJ class. I had an engineering class. So I was teaching the teens there how to do everything that was involved in multimedia.
What year was this?
This is 2000. This is what, about 4 or 5 years ago. It might even be longer than that now that I think about it. About 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Easily 5 years ago. So I had an agreement with the community center, and they gave me a job. So when they gave me the job, they gave me a job as maintenance, and I had the studio. So it was a great balance. It was a great balance because, you know, even though, you know, nonprofits ain't really profitable for the people that's working there. We wasn't make, but they let me have my studio, so it was a great balance. Like the money I'm not getting here, I'm getting it here, and I'm helping my people because I love helping my people. So it was like the best situation ever. And it just, you know, after it went down, it was like I couldn't even believe that it could happen. I couldn't even believe someone would even have the courage or the gut. Not even that. It was broad daylight. It's broad daylight.
In the studio?
No, it's broad daylight. Yeah, it's in the community center. You know, it's broad daylight. You walked in the community center, broad daylight. It was terrible. Like the heart that you had, and even like heartless. It ain't even being heart. Like you was heartless. Like that was crazy to me. But it tore me apart. Like I didn't even know what to do after that. So I just shut down because they shut the studio down. And I was like, man, I really wasn't making no money. I was making okay, but it wasn't like it was. The reason it was profitable at the time was because how everything was integrated from me doing programs and working at the center. So so like me to go get a building again and pay for a building like the one I had in Newport when I had that studio. I was like, I'm not trying to spend that kind of money on to break even. You feel what I'm saying? That's basically what I was doing.
Right.
But I was making projects. Like even the project that I put out, me, like Kolb and Cliff put out a project. You know, it's called GH2. And it's out and it's incredible. But nobody really knows about the project like that. But it's incredible. It's out right now.
It's on streaming services?
We never put it on streaming services. I got it up right now on my SoundCloud. But it wasn't. It was a mixture of a few. It was a street album. So from a street album, so we had some originals and some cover songs. So you know, freestyles. But they made them into full songs. So it's like we can't put the whole thing out because at the same time it's not really, you know, copyright wise. It ain't all their material. But so I put it up on there. But it's incredible. Even from that was incredible. You know, that was deep though.
You find yourself think you ever gonna get back to it?
Well,
as far as putting the studio together.
Well, you know, I tried. So afterwards, after everything happened, I ended up talking to Castro. Shout out to my boy Tony Castro.
Yeah, we trying to get him up here
at Third World Studio. So me and him was talking, and he was like, "Yo, man." You know, he told me about a situation he had. And I was like, you know what? I would love to be a part of it. So the studio that's on 9th and Tatnall, or right there, me and him went in and we designed it. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people don't know, but construction is my background. That's how I pay my bills. So, you know, I designed it, me and him, and we built it and everything. And so I was in there from the ground up. I started in there. And that's when I realized that, I don't know what's hot no more, because you know that was one of my critical things, because I never looked at myself as an engineer. I looked at myself as like a executive producer type. Like, nah, that's not right. Say this like that. Bring that back. Put this in there. Say it like so. I was always behind the board, but I wasn't just a guy to push the record button. So when I had the experience after we was trying to get that studio off the ground, I realized like. I don't really enjoy it. I don't enjoy it, and I don't like I couldn't gauge what was good and what was bad.
Right.
But yeah, that's my boy. So you know, so I started it. I had my equipment there for a while. We did a few things and all that. Then I bowed out, and he kept it going. He's thriving today.
Yeah, cause we definitely try and get him up here and stuff, because you know, Jarrell, I'm gonna get Jarrell to get in contact with him. And everything.
Man, listen, that's my man.
Yeah.
Like Jarrell gets in contact, but listen, that's my man. That's my man.
Well, then go ahead and put a word in for us.
Yeah, I got him. You ain't even gotta say nothing. I got him. That's my That's my people's. Like we go way back. You know what I'm saying? He used to be in the garage with me. I tried to sign him when he was 12 years old, and his mom wouldn't let me. You know what I'm saying? When he was out the Wilton, He was a producer. He always been real nice. Been real nice. He can hear a beat. He can hear a beat and be like, "Yo, Castro, make that." And he gonna play everything over again. Put his little twist to it, make it different. He has that kind of gift. He's nice. He's real nice. But yeah.
Another person in our backyard.
Yeah. Even you know, the one time I had look, I'm just skipping around, but we had the MC battle. We had a talent show on and we had the what was the record company in Philly? It was 2 soul companies out of Philly that had everybody. They signed. They actually had. They had the Fugees.
Rough House.
So it's Rough House, and it was another one that it was another one that had all the R&B singers back in the day.
Yeah,
well,
you talking about Gamble and Huff.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, the guy who was their accountant, we ended up hooking up with him. He be on the radio now. I think he's on 99 or whatever, and he gives financial advice.
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the guys. So he came down because we had him and everything. We had this one guy from out our way, and he had a deal together for him, and you know, Parent again said no. At them times, we had a bunch of people that was like could have been on.
But it was to take the Parent side. It was kind of unheard of for it to happen here.
True.
And it was like, you know, they couldn't Google and check nobody. So it's like, I'm not gonna spend money to see if this guy's really about his money. Right. I'm gonna just say no.
Right.
And it was just easier that way.
Yeah, nobody believed in hip hop like that. This was just a fad.
Boy, was they wrong.
Was they?
Boy, were they wrong.
You know, I talk about that a lot. I would tell my kids, I was like, listen, the influence that the youth have in the hip hop culture over the world is really, they don't understand. I said, if the kids today cut one leg off on their pants and wore one long tube sock up to their knee and rocked it, everybody in the rest of the world gonna cut one leg off their pants and rock it. I said, I'm trying to give you a vision. This is how much power you have. Whatever you say is hot, that's what's hot.
Right.
And when we realize that, like whatever we say is hot is what's hot in the world. If we say this alcohol right here is hot, this alcohol right here is hot.
Yeah, because I still don't know why people drink Hennessy. I drank that when I was a young boy. I can't drink no Hennessy now, man. Unless it's white Hennessy.
Because they pay us.
but
You laughing up there saying people drink Hennessy because Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, they're the same owner, by the way, if you Google it. They pay hip hop.
But it didn't start that way. People coined Hennessy because because it was the cheap, it was the midway drink of our time. Like it wasn't high end, but it was better than
it wasn't Cavazier,
right?
But it wasn't Irk and Jerk.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're gonna hit the middle. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna hit the middle. This is what we good at this level.
And then once they heard cognac, and it was like, oh, that's French.
This nigga.
I'm on it.
Right. But
like
see,
for style.
Right.
right. You know, that's the thing. But hip hop, it made it. We made so many products and things. We made so many products and things hot around the world. I wore an African medallion to high school for I don't know how long.
Right. Because X-Clan and Public Enemy showed us you can be cool wearing this.
I had a leather African medallion.
Miss Melody, she had one too.
And then we wanted to learn more about our people.
Exactly. So it's like, it's the influence. And I think that's the part in hip-hop right now that's missing, because I think I listen to KRS-One when he do his lectures, and he always talk about the influence. And he been talking about it. Like, even back then, I was like, wow, the stuff he was saying then really came to fruition. Like, you really was saying this back then, that this is what's going to happen with hip-hop. And it did. Like, he had the vision. Like, we really just, whatever we say. But the young guys, they don't think since the machine took over, they don't think that they have an influence. And how can you sit? And they was like, well, we not supposed to raise your kids. It ain't that you're not supposed to raise my kids.
Right.
You ain't supposed to raise no one's kids. But you're supposed to know the power that you have.
Right.
One with great power comes great responsibility. You have great power. Whatever you say makes this world grow economically. You say that this is hot, you could say we could turn a Hyundai hot. If we say the new Hyundai is hot, because I like it, but if we say the new Hyundai is hot, everybody's going to go and grab a Hyundai.
Right.
But I don't know.
Man, listen. Tell me, man.
If the right person says it's
No. I don't disagree with that. I actually think that hip hop has that power beyond that. But I think that you have two sections. You have sections of people who know their power and will say, all right, I'm going to say that this is hot. And, you know, you get into that conscious level. And then you got another section of motherfuckers that's going to say they're going to cut me a check. I'll say whatever you said is hot as long as you paying me. And then, you know how Dave Chappelle said, I drink Coke and Pepsi. Okay.
Right. Whatever, right. But you know, and I talk about, I like to talk about that too, because when you take people from most people that's in the music that start out, a lot of them come from survival mode.
Right.
So you offering somebody a way to get out of survival mode. Half the people in the world, in America, don't even know how to get out. Have been out of survival mode. You live in check to check. You've been in survival mode for a long time, and you think it's normal. You know what I'm saying? But
So somebody give you something outside the norm, it's like, oh, damn.
You talking about I ain't got to worry about paying for real? Man, listen, they tap dancing, shuck and jive, and they don't even know that they're shucking and jiving and tap dancing, because it's like the thing to do is to get out of a situation. Man, you got to get the bag. I got to go get this bag. You know, it don't matter. Just sell the
So
soul.
whatever you got to do to get the bag, you're going to get the bag.
Right. And it's like half and half. I ain't mad at you for getting out of the situation, because everybody want to get out of the situation, but we don't actually, you know, the power, like to loop it all back, is like the power that you have. It's like do both. After you learn it, like J. Cole was the perfect example of how he switched it all around after he learned his power. You know, you have power that's, and then Jay-Z, after he realized, he capitalized off of it. Then Diddy capitalized off of it. You know, when everybody's wearing long white tees, and he said we going to button ups, everybody threw the white tees out and got button ups.
Right.
Like, that was powerful. When I seen that happen, I was like, wow, this man just told a whole, like, he just told everybody, look, that ain't what's happening right now. We on a grown man. We don't need rims. He told you don't need rims. We don't need this. We don't need this, and we don't need that. And if you look, nobody's doing that no more.
Right.
Ain't nobody care about you having 24s or nothing. Nobody care about rims no more. After Jay-Z said we ain't doing rims no more, because you know how much these cost? That's on this Maybach or whatever. Ain't nobody went and did that no more. They had a higher thing to shoot for. He gave him something higher, like you worrying about rims. Nah, you trying to put $5,000 rims on a $20,000 car. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah, he's like, look, this is what we doing. We doing this grown man thing. And
So do you ever think you're gonna get back into it, man?
I'm getting back into it.
I know. Yeah, I know you say you're with your kids and you're like consulting with them and stuff, but I see them boom back videos on Facebook where you be like, yeah, old boom back. I see it. I mean, you may not recognize that I liked it or something like that, but I see them.
Okay, well, you know what's crazy? I'm compiling something. I was just talking to my boy the other day, and I was telling him, like, yo, I think I'm gonna start putting my beats up for lease. Cause I got a lot of them. I got a lot of boom backs and tuck. I got a lot of boom backs on tuck. I found the app. I gotta turn you on now, cause you my tech guru. So I found the app. I produce on my iPad Pro. Those videos you see is my iPad, and it looks like a MP. It does everything. It does everything. It time stretches. It chops samples. I can import my own sound kits.
Isn't it amazing how you got that stuff now? And like before, we'd have had a whole wall full of gear to pull that off.
They have plugins. I have a sound card that goes toward the Focusrite sound card, plugs into my iPad, and I can record into it like
multi-tracks and everything.
Multi-tracks, unlimited. Listen, let me tell you, and the app costs $30. I was talking, Fred seen me put the beat up, and he was like, "Yo, is that an iPad?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Listen, I saved for months, almost a year, to get my first beat machine. I spent $30 on this app."
Bodak Yellow costs $200 to make.
You know what I'm saying? I could have.
I'm just telling you. Like, listen to this. She might have recorded that in a car.
For real, I'm telling you. And that's the difference. That separated a lot of people back in the day, though. The money to have to actually go. I remember my first studio session, like when I was going to pay for it after this, besides going with y'all. And I went, and we was like, the studio session, it was like $80 an hour, right? And depending on what engineer I got, I had to pay his hourly rate too. That ain't how it go now. That ain't it. You pay the studio, it's $80 an hour. You want a top engineer, or you just want one of our what's his names? Well, our top engineer, he getting like $60 an hour. And my man was like, "You know what? I'm gonna give you my man. He nice, but he'll look out for you." So I'm paying for the studio time, and I'm paying the engineer his hourly rate. They have no idea when you can get studio time right now for $30 an hour.
Yep, they was killing you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was different times though, man.
I know.
You had a board that went from here all the way over to
You had to.
the whole room.
I get it.
And listen, Rush, watching you make beats. Listen, this is something that when I me and my daughter go through this a lot. I let her hear tracks, and she can't see the vision sometimes of the track. And I'd be like, well, I'm not used to formatting tracks out until after I format this track to the song.
Right.
Like, that's the era I come from. Like, we making this song. It ain't, I put the hook in here, I put 12 bars, I put the hook in, and this. No, I'm doing it to the song, because right here I think this is where a snare should drop, or this is where the kick should drop, and I should get a little mute joint, and so to emphasize this word that you saying when you do your bar, and whatever. And that's how, but I learned that from us having to do takes on songs. Remember that? Like, you have a take. You didn't record the whole song. The vocals is down. All the music is down. Now it's just you at the board. And you got 48 tracks and 48 mute buttons. And you done subgrouped them. So you got this over here and you got this over here. So while the music is playing, okay, we got this playing. The intro's playing, but we got it subgrouped over here. You hitting all the mute buttons and everything as the song going. You have like 10 different versions of the same song.
Right.
Because you hitting the mute buttons at different times, and it's all about the vibe and how you feeling. They don't do that.
Nah, yeah, because we was happy.
All done on the post.
We was happy.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's
Dude,
not.
That's
That's
all done on the post now. Everything you just said. That's why they mail records in, because all that you talking about now. That, like I said, it's all done.
Yeah, because right now, somebody
After
can just
the fact.
send you a couple stems, and you be like, all right, let me go ahead and do this.
Shit.
And you send the stems back.
Right, but I'm telling you, I'm saying when we there, we at the board, and I remember it personally. They were like, I want this to drop on my joint, so I gotta remember the whole layout of the beat. I gotta remember that these 5 tracks here is my intro, so I need to solo them. And then I don't want this part to play, so I got that solo. So I'm solo on pushing it. They got the DAT tape, and they was like, "Yeah, you like that?" And I was like, "Nah, we're gonna do it one more time." I got like 5, 6 different versions of the song just after the way that we bounced it down.
Right.
Back, you don't do that now. I go click on this part. I take this part out. I'm erasing these, and matter of fact, I'm duplicating it because I know where every 4 bars I'm gonna take it out. Like, you feel what I'm saying? It's totally different.
We were so happy if we got a studio that had SSL console. Oh, it's automated,
right?
And stuff. But even then, you still had to remember what you was doing.
But see, that's the difference in the engineering. Like, this is and one of the things I was trying to bring up about that is that the feel that you got from doing it that way. It's a different feel you get when you vibing with the beat and you feeling it out. It's a whole different feel than when you just listening. You be like, you know what? I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna cut it here. It's like you become a part of it. Like you become a part of it. I miss that. I miss those days.
And I really wish we had some way to document those, because I figure more people actually saw the background we came from, they'll understand why we embrace people like Biggie, Pop, Mantronics, Said G from Ultramagnetic.
Yeah, because they don't. Because I think it's the feeling. I don't think
Mall and stuff like people that they was all these cats was ahead of their time. They built the benchmark that they set out is why people is able to make millions now.
Exactly. You figured you're looking at people who was trying to find a turntable that had 75. Remember when? Because what you went from
33,
45, and then the next level, some of those had the 70 something on
78,
it.
yeah.
Right. So now you like, I'm trying to play this as fast as I can to get as much sample time into this 10, 15 seconds, 4-second loop.
Which is why it sounded different from the original.
Exactly.
Because like I got SB1200 and I only got 10 seconds split among 12 pads. I need to get as much as possible in there, and I'll just slow it down on there. That's why I sound the whole nuances and everything sounded different.
I love it.
Now they got software about you want this slow. How you want this to slow down? We'll stretch the time. We'll stretch the time out, but we won't change the tempo. It's like,
listen,
what the hell?
Check this out. I just learned that the program that I use do it. I put my sample in there. I cut it where I want it. Right. Matter of fact, before I cut it where I want. I hit the button. Detect tempo. It tells me the tempo. Excuse me. It tells me the tempo of the slice. So it'd be like 135. I type in 135, then I go stretch, or I push the stretch button. So whenever I change the tempo, then I put that 135 inside of the actual I guess the program at the top, like the master tempo. I put it in the master tempo. So now when I put it in there, I say I got 4-bar loop. Whenever I change the master tempo, it keeps the same. It speeds it up, but it keeps it at the same tone and everything. Oh man,
technology, something else. Ain't
$30. I'm trying to tell you.
Bow that yellow, 150.
Listen, I got an SRX. That was my first beat machine. And then that's when, after I got the SRX, that's when you took me to go build the computer. So I got the SRX. I'm tapping on it. I didn't know what quantize was, so all my beats was off. I was like, it just don't sound right. It ain't looping right. My boy came over, Ive, he down in Atlanta. Shout out to Ive. He came over, he's like, nah, just hit this button right there. If you do 16s, 13, 30 seconds or whatever, that's it right there. He said, just keep it on 16s for now. Just hit quantize. It changed my life. I was like, oh, it's on. My hi-hats was all over the place before quantize. Man.
But yeah, man, I'm glad you got up here and we got to talk about these good old memories and stuff.
Yeah, man, I gotta come back because I feel like I left out so much.
But nah, you know what? What I would like to do, man, I like definitely to bring you back, and I'm gonna bring a couple people from the past. Like I would love to get Big Ben up here.
Got to.
And I would love to get, Queenin up here, Queenin and Slate. And get them up here.
Listen, before we go, because I ain't gonna let this pass. Slate and Rush was the best DJs to ever come out of Delaware. And nobody knew. Slate was a monster. Slate was a monster. We had Cash Money and Jazzy Jeff. They are Cash Money and Jazzy Jeff. If anybody knows anything about DJing at that time.
Delaware hip hop, early 80s.
Yeah.
Early 80s.
Yeah, DJ Monty was hot too.
Yeah. And Slate, he still spins, but he does more corporate events and stuff like that.
Yeah, because we gotta get into we gotta get into 91.
DJ Mont still spin, and I see Shant Money every now and then.
Yeah, I see him once in a while too. I seen him and Shorty T. They was
Shorty T still.
They was at the Queen when my daughter performed.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? Seeing your baby girl
man,
on stage.
I was so excited, man, and you know, so
I heard they went bananas in that month.
Yeah, they did, and you know, like my daughter, she has a point to prove, cause she don't want to be Big Mont's daughter. She just want to be Holly, and you know, people like it's been said like she only got what she got because people like got accepted because she's my daughter, and I was like, I don't know, half and half. I said, but that's the way the world's supposed to be. Like, you supposed to get certain things because you're my daughter. Like,
because you paid your due.
Right. Like, it ain't like that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to put you on to what I know. I'm supposed to. You're supposed to know what I know. I said people want me to work with them, and pay me to work with them, or just come be their business partner and be a part of their business model, and you get it for free. So like, yeah. You're supposed to, and I don't care what they think. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I'm gonna definitely get you back up here and stuff because Jarrell has been pushing for us to have a nice little powwow, and we just let the mics and everything run.
I'm
just let it run, and just wherever the conversation goes, it goes. And he be like, "Yo, I wouldn't even edit it. I just put it out just like that."
Man, we need to, because, you know, it's a lot of...
Because there's a lot of stuff we skipped over, too.
It's a whole lot of stuff we skipped over. That's why I was like, man, look, man. I didn't even get to all that stuff, man. But, man, it was a pleasure. I'm honored. I'm honored. And a lot of people, I say it every time to you, and I say it because I think people need to know that, like, you know, you got to do your research. You got to see, like, there's some people here that still know stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people that came from here. It's a lot of people that came from here and put in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And it's way deeper than what you think. Like, hip hop is really embedded in Delaware, a lot. We're not that far from New York. So even if they say that, like, it came from here too. Like it trickled down here, so we was one of the first places to get it. We're only 2 states away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's so we got it.
Yeah, this has probably been one of the most engaging interviews, or actually, I don't even consider it an interview. This was just us talking.
Yo, it was a bust up. That's how I feel. I feel like our relationship might have messed the interview up. Like I really wasn't. I was like flashbacks. We was having flashback moments.
Oh, trust me, because he's sitting over there, he absorbing all this. He gonna be like, oh yeah, next time, because he like to rub his hands together.
Right.
Next time, we gonna tear this mug up.
Yeah, for real.
He's like, we gonna have the drinks. We gonna have open space. We gonna have some food. We just gonna wild out, and we gonna hear all these stories. Because Big Ben is probably the best storyteller for all this.
Yes, he is.
Because Ben's memory is impeccable. Because Ben remember names and dates where we be like, hold on, was it such and such? Ben be like, you remember? Oh, girl, in the car trying to take it behind the shed.
Right,
you know?
You know what I'm saying, man? Hey. Shoot, man, we had some times that I was like, when we talk about it, and I don't get to talk about it a lot, but and I don't really let people know. They don't really know like the history. I was like, yo, I did a lot. They was like, why you don't like going out? I said, listen, I'm partied out.
Yeah.
I was going to parties when I wasn't even supposed to be in the parties. You feel me?
Right.
Like 12 years old, me and Ben, his grandma throwing the parties. We in there when everybody was dressing like they was from What's Happening.
Right.
You feel me? It's like, so you feel what I'm saying? So it's like,
and we got into a lot of places just based off our rep of doing shows. Yeah. I remember after midnight was one of them spots. If you didn't get there a certain time, you ain't get in. We rolling right up in because somebody, you know, before he got all in trouble and shit, Steady B used to always co-sign for us.
Yeah.
And it was like nothing. Like, you know, Steady was our gateway into a lot of stuff, Philly, and then unfortunately, you know, him and Cool C, made some bad decisions.
Even though you said that, and I know we was wrapping it up, but even though you said that, I think that's one of the hindrances of Delaware taking its move. Because we connected with that whole movement. So you figure what? The Steady B, the EST, and what was his name? Cool C. You feel that whole movement, we was right there a part of that. So we would have came right up under that. After they did the song with KRS-One, and that was getting ready to take off, that was their link to get more national attention.
But bad decisions was made, and the rest is history.
Survival mode.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, you gotta understand though, man. I'm sorry if you was thinking that you was gonna get an in-depth interview. What you got was two old friends busting up, because it's probably been about I can say it's probably been about 11, maybe 10 or 11 years since we last was in the same room. I think the last time we was together, I took your picture in that chair in the studio off 40.
Yeah, it was there.
I mean, matter of fact, I won't even go say, because that was like 09. Maybe we got together maybe about 03, 04, something like that. Cause I do remember coming to your house.
You know what? I have the pictures you did for me and my family. Remember you did the family portraits of me and my family? And then we met. We got up and met again when I had the studio out in Newport.
Yeah. So yeah.
And on 40, because I came out 40. I forget. That's where we did the shoot at.
Yeah, we did the shoot, because that's when I first met Colb and the other guy,
the boy Trig.
Yeah, Trig. Yeah. Met them cats out there, and then I know I came to your house one time because your son, the one that rhymes now, he was just a little fella.
Yeah,
he had to be maybe 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah, he was a
little fella.
Yeah, he was a little tiny boy. I got.
Cause I never forget how he looked at me, cause you told him, he's like, "Yo, son, this the guy I learned all my stuff from," and he just looked at me like, "Wow."
Yeah.
And now look at him, he's doing his thing.
He's doing his thing. He's doing it big too, man. He got a lot of followers, man. I'm so proud of him, because see, you figure, like, I had my rep here, but he did it where I didn't have no rep.
Right.
He's not Big Mont's son. He's YNG Breezy. They don't even know who I am. He got to tell them, yo, my dad, back in the day, he introduced me like that. My dad back in the day had a studio or something. I'm like, well, I'm a little bit more than just having a studio. But, all right, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to let you be great.
You know what I'm saying? Then that's my whole thing right now. I'm living through y'all, but I ain't trying to overwhelm what y'all doing.
Right. But yeah, we definitely going to have you back here. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tuck from BOREDinDE. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the site, www.BOREDinDE. You can subscribe to our newsletter. You can also get onto our YouTube page and subscribe on there. And be on the lookout for one of my 1-minute rants coming up soon. Until next time, peace.
Peace.